KKWX. Karsa's my name, KKWX is my empire here. Today we are going to be playing some Waystone Mysteries with our friends from NRT. Let's get to it.
Alright, so who remembers last time?
What? Last time, Francis
We were
bumped
at a
up uglies
party
with the...
and there was vampires and they stole something.
That too.
There were vampires at a masquerade party.
This is completely
You could say...
legally defendable.
Yeah.
Yep.
So who remembers anything else?
Francis bumped uglies with his boss's wife and his boss.
Yeah, and
Nathaniel?
I would just like to make this 100% clear, so that everyone is aware of this. I had absolutely nothing to do with that. That was 100% Karsa. She is the freaky one here.
Nathaniel dutifully took pictures for blackmail material.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've been wanting to do that for like 2 weeks. Since the moment that you met his wife. So it was kind of yeah, it was all on me. No, what we're saying for the situation is that he's working with the ladies that were with you guys, so you don't have to worry about where they are. He's with them.
Now, when you say working with, are we putting in air quotes and a wink wink, or?
Well,
No.
see, here's the thing, right? He's with the ladies who are there at night.
No. We're going with the fact that he's actually talking to them, protecting them. While you guys are doing all the grunt work, he's being a babysitter to the ladies.
Yeah,
By
he's
which we of
effectively
course mean that they...
unprotected.
By which we of course mean they are babysitting him.
Probably. He's probably regretting the idea of not being able to take a drink. Because it was a party after all. So, yeah.
No, I'm sure he had at least one drink.
I think he had one drink, but I don't think I think he made a point of not getting drunk. Because...
Oh yeah.
Alright. So, as you know, last time you found this entrance to this cave. And I believe Nathaniel and Cain and possibly Elle were down there looking at that entrance. Was there anything else going on?
Francis was there too.
Okay, so you're all
Well,
there.
we did not actually have confirmation of that last time. So for Elle and Francis, if you would like to declare your intentions, now is the time.
I'm also back, by the way.
Mhm.
Welcome in.
I choose to participate in the game.
So you choose to go into the cave. Okay. So we're
Yep,
basically gonna
Francis is wielding his gun with the silver bullets and the holy water.
Vinny stayed back to take care of messages, or take care of doing some of the recording, and also research and taking care of the ladies while you guys go through this, doing the grunt work of going through the cave. And that's where we're starting. Take it.
Yes. So, yes, the last thing is the group discovered there is, or more specifically, Nathaniel discovered that part of one of the dungeon rooms, the brickwork had been loosely placed in. There was a few loose bricks. And behind that, there was an opening to what seems to be some sort of cave network underneath the castle area, the raised area at the back of the island. Seems to be some caves there. And when last we panned out, the group was preparing to enter that area with torches and weapons at the ready. So I'm assuming you guys head in.
You're
Yes? No? Okay.
Yep.
So do any of the people heading in actually have any experience with crawling around in very tight, cramped, dank caves?
not rock ones.
I couldn't help that comparison. Because the funny thing is, there is actually some overlap with the skills, in which, funnily enough, hell being, not exactly big and imposing. I actually forget how big is Francis?
Average size adult.
For what
Okay, I mean
country?
average size adult, yes, depending on the country, could vastly change.
Little over 5 feet tall.
That's short.
Average build.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you two are the ones that will have the least problem getting into the area, because it does kind of go kind of tight and rocky.
Oh.
Although, to be fair, Elle would probably feel a little bit at home because the place is kind of damp. Oh yeah, settle in. It's going to be nothing but that the entire time. So yeah, heading in, obviously, you know what caves look like. It's quite sort of jagged. Like it looks like it's been roughly, very roughly mined out. There are some evidence of areas having been, pickaxed a little bit wider, but as you head in, it's maybe 20-30 feet until you come to an area that clearly looks like a sizable chunk of rock has actually slid down, making the passageway much tighter. And on managing to squeeze through takes, a couple minutes. You're able to get into that spot where it widens out and actually starts looking like the junction within a mine, like a mine shaft, almost. To one side, there's a pathway that's completely collapsed in. There's some evidence of a support beam having given way. There's a large rock and an absolute metric shit ton of what kind of looks like chunks of flint and gravel, just making a complete seal over that pathway. And you're basically then left with what effectively is a Y junction for and the way back leading back to the castle. So, how are you guys proceeding?
I'm following the majority.
Okay, you're
All
abstaining.
I pull out a coin. I flip the coin. Oh, look, we go left.
There we go. Okay. So El's gonna head left. I assume
there-
others are heading along with.
Is there anything like, yeah, is there anything different about the two paths other than what you described? Like some indication of more or less use, or
For the most part, it looks like any use on like the floor, kept markings, dust, and all that. It's been quite some time since there's been much movement there. However, you do notice that, funnily enough, down the left-hand side, there does look like what could be some footprints, or at least scuffs in the dirt and everything that look like they might be newer.
I say left.
I guess we're going left.
Yeah, fuck it.
It's the way of evil. Lead on.
Hey, that's my line.
Except you're not playing.
I know.
Give me 1 second here.
By the way, I am playing. I am the other half of the GM, so.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I know. I'm giving you hell.
All right, so yeah, as you guys head along, the tracks there are some tracks like carved into the flooring. It looks like there may have been like some sort of mine carts there at one point, possibly, you know, bringing out some kind of materials or whatever. And as you're heading along, you come into another open area that actually has some like burnt out torches on the walls. And what you find is there's a small desk that's been left. There's a box of some very old tools sort of scattered in the immediate area around it. And who would any of you be looking for documents and stuff if there's like a bunch of papers sitting on the table?
If
Don't
there's a-
mind if I do, Agent Orange will quickly stuff those into his jacket.
Does Agent Orange happen to look at them?
Glance at them, I suppose, but not exactly going to take the time to sit down and peruse them at length.
Well, I mean, this is like 5 or 6 sheets of paper.
Okay.
It's not like a big dossier or anything. But yeah, but as you have a quick look around the stuff, you see there's one of them that looks like a very roughly drawn out map, essentially, for the area. It doesn't show what was down the right hand path that was open. It does show that the pathway that was completely covered leads to appears to lead to another spot of the castle, although it's difficult based on the scale to actually be able to work out maybe where in the castle that might attach. However, what it shows is of the 2 pathways leading down from where you are, there is a room to your right that is marked with a strange spiral symbol. It just looks like someone has basically drawn a spiral that you're not entirely sure what that means. And then that connects to a room that is apparently down the left-hand pathway.
Now somebody drew the spiral on. It's not actually like a part of the map.
It is a
Well,
drawn
the
spiral.
the entire map has been hand drawn.
Hmm.
Though it also looks like it's been hand drawn, like professionally. You know, they got someone to actually draw this.
Yeah, an actual cartographer.
Yeah,
This is no amateur map.
yeah, exactly. And chances are this map would have been like framed and hung on a wall so that it could be referenced easily by people working in there. And
That's all of the sheets.
Yeah, the rest of them look like information about like material yields, some mention about a request for tools and stuff that someone was partway through writing and then stopped for whatever reason. Like they effectively look like they've just been sort of dumped there, for quite a number of years.
Right. Well, I'll share the map with everyone else. What do you guys think of this?
I have no idea. So,
I mean, they could have been here a while. Other things could be going on down here.
Hell, are you aware of any significance to a black spiral? Outside of the fact that if people are dancing the black spiral, then we're really in trouble.
Not particularly. It's getting used a lot throughout history.
Well, it's a lead at the very least. Something unusual about that. Want to head back and head that direction, or?
That would be down the right pathway from where you are.
Now, when you say down the right pathway, we originally turned left, so you mean down down the pathway not taken?
Oh, that's right. You said left. Yeah, it would be the further left.
Does this make sense to anyone?
No, it's the other path.
Okay.
I missed the part where we hit a dead end. That's on me.
Okay, yeah, right. So for everyone to be correct here, yeah. So when you initially came in, you had a cross junction. Going back obviously leads back into the castle. Taking the immediate right would lead to a collapsed passage that, according to the map, appears like it leads back into another part of the castle, but without literally taking several hours to excavate the pathway, you cannot be certain where that might actually exit to the castle grounds. Turning left, you head down the passageway into the room that you're currently in. There's a pathway straight across the room, and then also another one going to the left. According to the map, the left passageway leads into the room that's marked with a spiral, and then that connects to a room that would also be reached by going forward. The remaining passageway that would have been straightforward from the initial junction appears like it heads partway up the area, and then the map is it's like being scuffed out, like someone's basically rubbed out that area. So you're not really sure what you would find heading that way. But further along the map, there is a pathway coming back on from that vague area. So you can make the assumption that somehow this connects further along in the mine shaft area.
So we have two choices. We can continue on and see what this black spiral is all about, or we can head to the question mark room, for lack of a better description.
Let's split up, gang.
I was gonna suggest
No.
we could split up, or
No.
That,
dumb way of
that
splitting
seems
up.
like a really bad idea with vampires online.
No, really. I was gonna suggest we could split up, but it's probably a bad idea if we do.
It's okay, I'll go with Francis. Francis, if the vampires start to turn you, don't worry, I'll shoot you first.
You're going in front and you've got the bigger gun.
Exactly. If it looks like we're about to be overwhelmed, bang.
Okay, so I'll leave you to die. Got it. You'll make the noble
Nope.
sacrifice for your
Here's the thing,
country.
here's the thing.
Pats on the shoulder.
Cain's gonna put his hand on Francis' shoulder. Save one for yourself.
He's got the bigger gun.
Yeah, but if he goes down, save one for yourself. You never know.
Anyway, let's not split up and say we did.
Spookiness. Is the black X where we are currently?
No, the black X, that's the area that's collapsed.
Okay. Black X is collapsed. Where are we currently?
You're currently in, you entered just under the black X and then headed down south on the map to that first room.
Okay.
That should do it. Alright, there we go.
We're currently in that room. Yeah, well, I mean, like, the black spiral room is at worst a detour, so...
We hope.
Well, if we see werewolves, then, like, really it's Karsa and Nav that are in trouble, so...
Wait, what's that? If you see werewolves?
Yeah,
In
he's
Van,
not
well, in
He's
yeah,
not
in
aware
World
of
of
Werewolf
Darkness,
the Apocalypse.
in World of Darkness lore, black spiral dancers are like a super evil sect of werewolves. It's a gross oversimplification, I know. I'm trying to explain it in 10 seconds.
Fair enough.
I will
That's-
probably be doing my best. Probably will not be adding that to our game info.
Anyway, Black Spiral Room.
Black spiral room!
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you head down towards that room, and as you head down there, you do actually see a couple of mine carts, like overturned in the pathway.
Mine card.
Yeah, and because there's tracks carved into the floor that some carts have been used to move stuff along. They kind of just look like they've been shoved out of the way for people moving through. And inside those carts, you see that there's what kind of looks like limestone, like blocks of limestone.
Wait, so actual mining, not
Yeah.
just from moving materials.
Except the weird thing is, none of the rest of the cavern walls, right, the main walls and everything, do not look like limestone.
Interesting.
And when you head down into that room, there's a wooden set of doors over it. That one of them is actually like rusted shut. The hinges are so rusty that ain't moving. The other one, with a bit of force, you're able to kind of shoulder your way through. When you enter that room, you're immediately hit with a sensation of vertigo.
Ugh.
Yeah, as you look around, and the rocks are no longer, the rock walls are no longer like the standard, looking like stone. They actually look like they shimmer, like they're completely different material. So do me a favor, everyone roll weird. Just a flat weird.
If you insist.
This could only end well.
Nathaniel,
What
you
is-
still have a -1.
I don't want to. See, that's why I didn't want to.
Hey, but you get XP.
Oh, you do get XP this time. Or L.
And Cain went to get more food.
And damn, Nathaniel, even with the -1, seriously?
Yeah.
You need to -2 him so he gets more XP. No, -3.
We're not
I
doing
want
it.
to see what he I want to see what he picks up on a level up. Because I'm sure he's thought that far in advance.
I'm almost giving up on the -1 because of the fact of all the times.
Like I'm pretty sure the spirits are making it clear that they don't care. Like
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling of that. Yeah.
Getting the feeling too.
I cast the curse of unluck. It's a ritual. It takes 3 days to cast. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean that's the thing. See, because you get a bonus because all of the horrible things that went on in that dungeon with your boss.
Mm.
Attack.
We need a
Yeah,
roll from
no.
you, Cain.
Yeah, we
What kind
need a weird roll, just flat weird.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
3 successes.
Oh, yeah, it's actually kind of funny.
mixed success.
Yes. Well, the whole thing on this is to have some kind of knowledge about this. And it actually makes sense that L would be the one that fails this because, the other three, you guys have this moment of vertigo when you enter the area, and things just seem off. Like, obviously the walls should not be shimmering the way they are. The problem is that the first person that looks up happens to be L, and notices that what should be a rock ceiling, or potentially a shimmering ceiling, isn't. And what L sees is straight up a starry sky, which is not the sky that should be above. And the vertigo continues much stronger for L. Give it 1 second. So, the other thing that people might become aware of is if you happen to look at L during this, you have your whip, yes?
No.
Oh, you don't. Damn. Okay, so what you're aware of is that this is the same stuff that's on the edge of your whip. It's on Earth, effectively, that would have access to that material.
Now, this is just what Elle sees. Did any of the rest of us look up, or?
For anyone else that looks up, the shimmering rock heads across, and then it's kind of weird that, like, if you sort of unfocus, the way that the material shimmers kind of looks like a starry sky a little bit, but obviously it's not, because you're underground, you're on a mine. So that weird thing, it must just be something about, like, whatever gems or whatever are like in the walls are just making this effect.
Okay.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Hardly unheard of, but all right. Well, is there any like spiral or something around here that would?
Well, as you're looking around the space, you kind of notice that there's a depression in the floor, right? Like they've started to carve down into this stuff, and there's a lot of chips of the apparent stone scattered around. And if you kind of unfocus slightly, it almost looks like there are a whole bunch of spirals being made by these chips on the ground. And then as soon as you notice that, as you start looking at the walls, the shimmer almost appears like there's a whole bunch of spirals all over the place.
Well, I don't see any vampires here. We should get going. This place gives me the creeps.
Yeah, this is a very odd feeling. I don't want to be here anymore.
And looking around, you can see another wooden doorway that looks a little bit rusted, but you could probably shoulder it open that leads to the other passageway, or you can turn back.
Let's go through the other passageway so that way we're not like,
Doubling back.
Okay. So who's taking lead?
Well, they want out of this room.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So you're able to very easily. You initially give the doors a quick push. You could tell they're kind of rusted, and then with literally just the doors just like swing open. And then as you guys start heading down that pathway, you encounter a problem. And that part of this passage has collapsed in. There is a pathway through, but it is very tight.
Now, where is the collapsed passage exactly on this map?
Like right here.
This new collapsed passage, not the old one.
Like right here. No.
Okay.
I mean, that's a simple fix.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right.
Me.
About face.
Like that. Whoops. Nope. And then that way.
Yep, that's fair. Yeah. So yeah, as you head back, you head back into that room and hang a left, follow the left-hand wall as they do. And yeah, you come into the next room, which is almost identical to the previous one in terms of, like, it looks like they've been bringing stuff out of the spiral room, storing it there, and then transporting it. There's a bunch of scattered tools and stuff, and there's a lot more tools in terms of like small hammers and chisels around the room. And it explains why this weird limestoney stuff was in like blocks. And yeah.
You said weird lime. Is this in fact limestone?
No.
Okay. I would like to, as we're making our way through, take a small chunk with me. Stuff it in the pocket. We'll Have it examined later by top.
Are you wearing
Top.
gloves?
Yes, part of my Agent Orange outfit.
All right. When you pick up one of the chunks of this shimmering rock, like it initially looks like it's possibly, it kind of looks like limestone. But as you pick it up and turn it in the light of the torches, it does appear to start shimmering. And you immediately can notice that it feels warm, like much warmer than the ambient temperature. Like it should be cold stone, but it's quite warm.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Using everything that my character has expressed interest in for the past month. Is this uranium?
No.
No, it's clearly made out of apples.
Okay. Well, no, that's much more dangerous. Apples are deadly.
Sorry, I just said everything
Contains
expressed
cyanide.
interest in.
Yeah, you do have a very marked interest in apples and apple consumption.
Yes,
Food
I have a marked
possibly made
interest
of
in
it.
apples and uranium. Two
Yeah.
areas that are
Yeah, but-
very important at this point in time.
Especially to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
So
the point.
is this like hitting either my apple or my uranium interest looking at this stuff?
Well, it does occur that it might be some sort of strange radioactive material.
It could be
in saying
radium.
that- no, it doesn't glow like radium. But then again, you haven't stuck it outside to let it charge up in the sun.
Actually, uranium doesn't typically glow, but yeah.
I know.
All right, fair enough. You know, I'm not exactly putting it against my bare chest, wrapping it,
Yeah.
and stuffing it into.
Okay. So, yeah, as you head through the room, Nathaniel with his +1 rock, +1 spoopy rock, in fact. Yeah, you head along to the next pathway. Because, yeah, having a look down the remaining passage that you're not going to head down, yeah, you can see the other side of the collapsed area and the pathway through. And, yeah, as you're heading along, that's the first time that you see some definite evidence of people moving through here recently. Because the pathway should have been blocked by the looks of the large rock that's been hit quite hard with some sort of tool and is splintered, or not exactly splintered, but you know what I mean. It looks like it's been pounded out of the way. The markings on it are much newer. Like you could tell this is not, a rock that's been like chiseled back to open up the path. It's been hit with a sledgehammer very recently.
There's
Although
still like ancient crumbled rock around where the impact happened.
Yeah, and this is also normal rock. This is the standard rock of the mining area. And that is roughly here. Like it looks like this area has initially sort of collapsed in and then been opened up again. So there's like a path through that rock.
And I'm sorry, was the path the thing that was broken open? Like, did somebody create the new path recently?
Well, this was open and then it had collapsed at some point since the apparent abandoning of this area.
The path we were going down, it collapsed. Somebody in recent time frame has reopened it.
Yes.
That's what I want. Yeah, that's what I'm. Okay, that's what I want to confirm. All right.
Yeah.
We might be on.
It looks
correct
like
thing.
one of the supports gave way and this rock came down like in the other pathway, except yes, this one has been opened recently.
Now, looking at the sledgehammer and the rock and the size of the thing that came through, does this look like it was done? Is this within normal human capability to do this in like a relatively short amount of time? Smash your way through this with a single
no.
sledgehammer through the rock?
No.
Okay, so this was clearly done by, if not necessarily vampires, some subnatural entity.
Yeah.
Okay.
I follow the
I think
sign
we're on the
that
right
you
path.
I
Sorry, what
entered
was
the
that?
Neuron.
You enter the neuron. Okay. Is everyone else heading down there?
May as well.
Lay on.
All right. So
Cain?
you head down. You head down there. Yeah, I'm assuming Cain is.
Yeah, I'm
gonna
heading
be
down there
online.
too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay,
I'm also kind of eating, so it's slightly
You
distracted on me.
should be able to move your character. Just
Nope.
no, dang it. All right. Let me.
Yep, nope, can't move mine.
All right. You know what? I can fix this.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too. There we go.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I was literally just going to make the tokens controllable.
Okay, so it's just his character.
I've made that controllable.
All right, so Francis goes down there too. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless you want to stay by
As you
yourself.
head in,
No.
that's always an option.
It is an
I mean, you stay
option.
back as a vanguard.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
So yeah, as you head down there, you see some more evidence of the shimmering rocks having been put here. There's a bunch of them stacked up with like an old like tarp thrown over. They're sitting on a pallet. It looks like they were likely to be taken out just prior to the place being abandoned. And yeah, when you enter in, you can see along with the rock being opened, the passageway on the left. Another rusted door there, but that actually has been broken prior. It's possible it actually broke before the whole area was abandoned, because it looks like it's been rusted in place, flung open. There's more cracks carved in heading up that pathway, and when you have a look at the map that you carry along, there's another map that's actually hanging on a nail that's been battered into the wall. That one actually has the entire top section completely missing, looking like it's been torn out. And it does, however, have a little stenciled note next to the room up there mentioning supplies/rest.
Wait. I'm sorry, repeat that?
Supplies/rest.
I know, but what is that written on?
Oh, that's
It's
on the
stenciled
map.
yeah, it's stenciled on the map that's hanging on the wall here.
Okay.
But this one, as I say, has the entire top section. Looks like someone's grabbed and ripped that part out.
Alright. Supplies/rest. Alright. I think, it's worked well so far.
Yeah, let's keep going this way.
Let's continue that path.
All right. As you head up that way and you hit the little junction, there seems to be a reason for part of that map having been rubbed out before, and that pathway is completely blocked off. And you can actually see there is the remains of what looks like a skeletal foot sticking out from underneath several large rocks.
There's no way that they just left that foot sticking out. That must be new.
The very old skeleton sitting there.
So, like, the bones are, like, gray at this point, or yellowish instead of what we'd expect them to be.
Well, there are clear signs of age. They wouldn't exactly be yellowed because that typically happens with, UV damage. However, there's a few spots of what looks like the remains of the cloth for a pair of trousers, and what looks like the sole of a boot sitting by it. So it appears like this unfortunate dude was literally walking along here as the roof decided it would like to join him aggressively.
All right, continue on.
I mean, this room seems like it's gonna be a dead end, but fuck it.
Well, you would think. When you head up there, you go up. There's a couple of, again, the standard wooden doors. Push them open quite easily, and it's a fairly decent-sized room. In the middle, there's what looks like an old campfire. You know, like, really bad idea in a cave, but why not? So yeah, there's that. There's what looks like a pipe sticking up in the roof. So possibly
That
some kind
explains
of
the campfire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just need ventilation.
little pipe there that, of course, when looking up it, you can't see anything.
Smoke inhalation never killed anybody.
Except all the people it did. So yeah, when you go to the middle and have a look up, yeah, you can't see anything through it. But then that's kind of to be expected, because chances are wherever it comes out on the surface, it's probably got, bush growing over it or something. And yeah, around the edge of the room, there's a bunch of makeshift cots have been built on a little raised platform area that looks like it's been made with a bunch of pallets. And yeah, everything's in, like, clearly, like, way old. Everything's all threadbare and falling apart.
When you say way old, you mean like undisturbed for decades, or way old as in they're just very old cots?
They look like they've been undisturbed for at least several decades.
Okay.
Does anyone happen to go and try and jump on the bed or anything?
Nope.
No, I don't feel like dying.
Can't imagine a reason to.
I feel like sneezing to death.
No one wants to go and have a seat. Oh well.
We get on the bed, it becomes
All
super
right,
springy
boys,
9000.
if you insist, Nathaniel will give a weary sigh, trudge over towards it, and gingerly sit down.
A giant spring comes out and shoots your head into the ceiling.
No.
It's a cot. What spring would there be?
You never know, somebody could have booby trapped the bed.
No.
I
But-
stop
but then-
Nathaniel. I pick up Francis and throw him at the cots.
All right. You take one harm from being thrown at the cots, and then you take a further 17 cringe damage as the cot entirely disintegrates, and you end up sitting on your ass. You got to sit
no.
there, dunk. Just the entire thing falls apart. Yeah.
The expected result.
Although it's actually a good thing, because that's when you notice that there's like a, for want of a better term, a shelving unit. It kind of looks like a bookshelf almost, right? That's been placed against the wall, but you notice there's actually what looks like a pinprick of light coming through behind it.
Now, they knew about all of these. They knew that they were connected to a cave system. Correct? The house's owners.
You are free to make whatever assumptions you would like.
Well, somebody had to. They covered it up. So, whether the construction guys told the owner or not, I don't know.
Question is, were they involved? The construction owners could be involved another way. Who knows?
Nope. Too tired to think that way. I beat the wall down.
Oh, break the wall.
Well, I mean, you don't even need to. Because, yeah, if you head over and, like, move the thing away, you actually see that there's what looks like a very old stone doorway has been left sitting there. And there's you can kind of tell immediately as soon as you hit the thing with your hand that it's actually a wooden door that someone has basically attached chunks of rock onto to make it look like it's part of the wall. As for why they would do that here, you have no idea. But yeah, you quite easily punt the thing out of the way. And the entire room is immediately overtaken with a clearly ethereal blue glow coming from the pathway that you've now discovered into the vague area of spookiness.
Can we see that pathway on there?
You can as soon as I get this thing to show properly. Got access that way to what seems to be another room.
Well, that certainly looks like the winner there.
Yep.
Alright, so everyone heading up there?
Yep.
All roads lead to all roads lead to blue spirit lights.
Yep.
Oh my god, the dead lights! We're gonna fight Pennywise!
Damn, man, why you gotta preempt me? You know, I mean, you just gotta blow it, it'll be alright. So, yeah, when you head up there, you head up. There's the light seems to dim gently as you're heading up to that space, and you walk into a rather large circular room, and it immediately occurs that all of you kind of recognize the design of this.
And I need all of you to roll weird.
Okay.
What could possibly go wrong?
We just throw an XP.
Have the spirits given up on trying to punish Nathaniel yet?
No.
All right.
I got one more than last time!
Damn it! Why? Why?
The spirits have made their intention quite clear, voice.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. Yeah, I think his abject refusal to be defeated by it has just meant he's avoiding.
It's not him refusing, it's the character itself! It's got a meta perspective! Panic!
I don't know.
Well,
Anyway.
see, it's the secret training he had with the boy, where his mind was wiped and rebuilt.
Okay.
He's actually been monarched.
I prefer to think of it as being rather similar to something I once read about, where the key to avoiding supernatural effects is to just refuse to acknowledge them. Refuse to take them seriously. If you do not care, they cannot harm you.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
very
Not whether or
literally
not
the
you
poster
believe in
child
them,
of.
it's whether or not you care about them.
Yeah, Nathaniel's now the poster child for the future meme of insert thing here is not real, it can't hurt you.
Exactly. It works.
Yeah,
You
especially
cannot
when the dice
dispute
allow
that
it.
it is working.
Exactly.
All right,
so-
Nathaniel.
Yeah, so for Nathaniel and Francis, you both have slightly different perceptions of what you walk into. For Nathaniel, this room reminds you of the room in the archives that's listed as being the Waystone. There's a podium in the middle that's quite damaged. Like it honestly looks like, there's, when you look up at the ceiling, there are a bunch of chunks of rock that have come away. There's one that looks like it actually landed straight on the podium and split it in half and then rolled off to the side. And when you look across the room to this point here, you can see a large archway missing several stones, and they appear to be made of the same shimmering material that you found earlier, with some indentations that appear like they're runes possibly have been carved on them. And as I say, several of them are missing. There's a couple of them actually lying on the floor, and you can see one of them has one of these runes that, for a second, when you initially look at it, it appears to be glowing ever so slightly, but then when you blink, the glow disappears.
Wait,
And
was
then-
that the blue glow?
Yes. And then it occurs to you, you actually don't see the immense blue glow anymore. Like when you glance back at the passageway, it's in darkness. Other than what light is given off by the torches that you're carrying. For Francis, however, you get a slight feeling of that vertigo again, like hitting that. This clearly there has been.
I'm honestly starting to get vertigo thinking about vertigo.
Yeah. Oh well, there you go. Yeah. So
Or maybe I'm
that
dehydrated.
returns. Maybe. So yeah, that returns, and the thing that's different about this is you see the podium complete, and it does have an ever so faint glow around it from a few of the runes and such.
So it's kind of like the Waystone at the Waystone Society, except this one seems more complete.
Well, no, this one is much
This
more
one seems
damaged.
more damaged.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
but
Like,
the
the
glow
gen- the
indicates
general-
more
yeah.
is going on.
But
The
if you
general
put-
gist of this.
if you
Now,
put the
hold on.
one Waystone next to the other Waystone, you would think that they're sisters.
Other than the fact that this one is significantly more damaged.
Yes.
Yes.
Before we go any further, just
Uh-huh.
to confirm, there's no one else in this room but us, right?
Not that you can see.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay, yeah, that's why I said before we go any further.
Cain and Elle.
I was
when-
getting to that.
Yeah, okay, you do that.
Yeah, I was getting to that. Don't worry about it. I'm
Okay.
aware of those failed rolls.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, the whole thing, as Karsa says there, yeah, if you overlap these rooms, they would be identical, apart from this one being vastly damaged and effective. It looks like a ruin. You've walked into a Skyrim ruin here. That, however, is completely different for Cain and Elle, who, both of you guys, you see the room bathed in the ethereal blue glow. You see the instead of being worn and, for want of a more appropriate term, disabled runic symbols on various stones, you see the complete archway, and you see basically what looks like turning water, but vertical, sorry, inside the Arch of Stones, the portal, as it were. And then, right as when he is about to make some kind of comment on this, both of you guys immediately are hit with what appears to be effectively tendrils of like energy shooting out of the portal. And for Elle, you feel like you're immediately pulled into it, right? And all of your senses are overcome with that you're now underwater. Like your hearing is immediately deafened to a degree. Like you've just been submerged into water, and what you're seeing laid out in front of you kind of looks like it might be Boston, but then again, it could just be, you know, any random American city for the most part, but completely devoid of any people and has been overtaken by nature. So most of the buildings are collapsed or in some form of ruins, and there are absolutely gigantic, like trees that make, you know, giant redwoods look like a little bonsai tree. These things are gigantic, reaching up into the sky so far that they just fade from view as they pass into the cloud layers, which is really strange because the entire thing is underwater. And it's like maybe 2 or 3 floors up on buildings, they're encrusted in like crustaceans, which then fairly quickly over the next couple of floors transition to vines and other like woodland nature, basically. For Cain, however, you see essentially the same idea, except the entire place is covered in flames. Like the entire place has been burned. Every single structure is, you know, looks like a war has been fought. And when you glance up, you can see what appears to be, like, for want of a better term, brimstone just falling down like an entire meteor shower all over the place. And almost as quickly as it happens, you both are sort of thrown back. Both immediately hit the ground with the feeling like you've been pushed backwards. And you now see that room completely demolished. All of the glow is gone.
But with that backing,
You also both have migraines.
yeah, you have one point of harm due to psychological damage.
Oh no.
Well, see, there's a problem with that. Fuck, I gotta find it. All harm I take is reduced by 1. This is not armor. This is just straight up, I take 1 less.
Oh, that's okay. It's because of the fact you cannot get sickened. Okay, yeah, but
Well, no, the last line is all harm is reduced by 1. This is not armor.
so you don't take harm,
But you do have a headache.
You do have a headache, and Cain, you do take harm.
Yay, I get fire.
In fact, you take L's harm as well.
I didn't touch him.
Bad touch. Bad touch.
No, I don't think Cain gets the bad touch from Elle. Is Cain like blown in half and covered in blood?
Not right now.
Exactly. So he did not get the bad touch.
Not right now.
You did not get bloody messed.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
Over time.
All right, well,
No. That was unpleasant.
Cain's gonna pop his neck and just, yep, nope, nope, that hurt. He's just laying on his back right now. Why is everything loud?
Yeah, I know.
Because
Is there another passage out of this room?
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Seems we gotta double back anyway.
Okay. The presence of a Waystone here kind of raises a lot of questions. What do I know about Waystones and why they matter?
an entire episode on that.
I'd say probably not much.
Yeah. For the most part, you would know of like the concept through reading and such. If Nathaniel happens to read fantasy novels, for instance, like the idea would have come up in various novels and such.
that it's a possible gateway to something.
Yeah. Plus, it has been mentioned in the past when the Waystone at the archives was shown that there was some mention of a lot of these concepts. Like some members of the organization have attempted to do that thing where you mention things in various fictional works to like suggest the idea of this, so that when it becomes important later on, people kind of have some idea of this. There's a in Nathaniel's opinion, possibly, there's a funny rumor that the rise of novels featuring aliens is because aliens really exist and they're secretly walking amongst us. But to prepare people for this revelation, a lot of novels and radio plays have been talking about aliens and depicting aliens and stuff.
Yeah, Nathaniel is personally betting more on John Carter of Mars aliens than War of the Worlds aliens.
Which is probably a smart idea.
I mean, if this were Pathfinder, you'd be right.
But that is a hope, not a certainty.
Yeah.
Now, this Waystone, like, how big is it?
I believe we had said in the past that it'd be 10 blocks by 20 blocks, this area.
What is a block?
5 feet.
Okay, so it is. Yeah, it's
you know what? I'm going to write in Olympic-sized swimming pool. What is the approximate size of an Olympic-sized swimming pool?
Is it just like against the wall, or are we standing on
Well,
it?
the Waystone itself is much smaller, but the area to the Waystone is that long.
Okay, have I heard or seen or know anything about whether or not it is even possible to move a Waystone?
Oh, it's entirely too
Or is
big
it just
to
like
move.
permanently fixed
You've been
place?
told the reason why the archives is even there and protecting it is because they don't know where it goes, and they don't know how to shut it down.
And presumably they also don't know how to. Okay. Well, this raises further concerns then, because we shouldn't just be leaving this here. As we continue, Nathaniel's going to be thinking over in his head, like, what would the exact sequence of events would it necessarily be to seize this property on behalf of the U.S. government?
A lot of red tape.
A lot of red tape, I'm sure. That's why he's thinking it over the next several hours.
Well, hold on. Hang on. You have an easy in. There was an attack on this place, and Calvin Coolidge was here.
Exactly. Like I said,
yes, it's a federal investigation.
Working it through. We're working it through.
Yeah.
It is officially a federal execution.
Yes, it's a federal execution, and Nathaniel's pulling the trigger on his Tommy gun. So yes, for reference, the entire circular room is 100 feet across.
Okay.
Right, and the portal / waystone, whatever you want to call it, is roughly 20 meters across, and it's against the wall.
It's huge. You could drive a truck through it.
All right. Yeah. So moving it's not really an option.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Like I said, just thinking that through, like what the series of red tape that we'll have to go through for this.
the portal itself is rounded,
No, the room is rounded.
but if the room is 100 feet across and the portal's 20 meters across, then
I'm
the
sure he
portal
meant
would've-
20. I'm sure he meant 20 feet instead of 20 meters.
Because that would be like halfway across the fucking
Yeah,
side.
it's
Yeah.
20 feet, not 20 meters.
Yeah.
Get your measurements right, people.
The room itself, though, is a circular room. With the waystone at the back, and yeah, like that. There you go. Let's see if that showed up on the stream. Yes, it did. Okay, good.
All right, let's get going, and hopefully
There we go.
Mr. Coolidge was not one of those people turned into vampires. Otherwise, we have a serious problem.
Hey, I still maintain that at some point we have to fight him on top of a broken Washington Monument.
Well,
Very
look,
well.
I told you the problem with that, right? Is that you're going to have to get onto that executive Secret Service group, who, are busy constantly giving that giant a hand job. Otherwise, it wakes up and destroys America.
Well, no. That's why we circumcised it.
I'm going to add something like the Lincoln Lurker, and or possibly the Empire statue, the Liberty statue. Sorry, that eats people. I'm going to add the
So
monument mythos to this.
Yeah, I was about to say. So we're going full monument mythos here. There's a guy who is that
You know what? As
monument
long
mythos?
as I get
Yeah.
to meet President James Dean,
Oh yeah.
I get to meet President James Dean, and then we go race car driving.
Make that
Exactly.
twice. That actually, the way he's done this map, it's not to scale. We've tried to make the
I
room the
don't-
best,
So I do not
That's
care about
fine.
the measurement. The arrow is literally just a pointer.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this another dead
Yes.
end?
No, actually.
It's not a dead end.
The map says not to scale.
Yeah, you guys can head back. So yeah, when you are heading up this other passageway, you start feeling the air pressure change.
Eve.
You can almost feel it from like you're exiting the area. As you come around one of the bends in the passageway, you can start to see a little bit of ambient light. Because it turns out the storm has effectively moved on that was going on outside. And clouds have parted, there's a bit of ambient light coming in from the moon. And as you head around one of the corners, you also suddenly are hit with the telltale scent of blood. There's a certain ironiness in the air.
Oh, the
All
irony.
right. If your weapons were not already out, they should be out now.
Francis, again, has a bottle of holy water and his revolver with silver bullets.
That will be absolutely amazing, as you are the first person to hear what sounds like someone who's had the absolute shit kicked out of them and is lying in a bloody mess with a sizable blood pool around them.
Ow!
Attempting to raise what looks like a very mangled Mauser C-76. Is it a C-76 or is it a 96? I can't remember. It's a Mauser broom handle anyway, and it is mangled.
So he tries to raise a red 9 at us. Got it.
Yep.
Alright.
Oh, you think you can help me?
Drop it.
I've had a really bad last hour. You don't want to do that.
Well, he looks like he's fucking terrified.
Yeah, that's fair. I've still got the headache. And
Agent Orange, I'm with the Bureau of Investigation.
Who are you?
Yeah, he's as he speaks, it's quite clear this is a lot of effort for him, considering this guy is lying in a pool of what appears to be his own blood.
Drop the weapon and we will see you get medical attention.
I think it might be a bit late for him.
He just kind of looks confused as fuck.
Like, stomp as hard as Nathaniel stamps as hard as he can directly onto Francis's foot for saying that out loud.
Ouch!
You know what? I said Cain would throw something at him, so he's gonna throw a rock at Francis. Dude, shut up. Your voice is annoying, and I've got a migraine.
Well, while they're arguing, we're tracking the people that did this.
He drops his weapon. They went, and he tries to hold up his arm. Valley. Oh.
Yeah, he tries to sort of push himself up a little bit in the process, and you can kind of see him a little bit clearer. And interestingly enough, he appears to be dressed exactly the same as the President's Secret Service escort.
Oh shit.
Complete with a broken set of aviator shades.
Okay, well.
Damn it, that's how we know he's real. Those are so anachronistic, it can only be from the Secret Service's time machine.
Exactly.
It definitely. I mean, he's definitely got the outfit of the Secret Service that was with Coolidge at the time.
Well, I've got a migraine. I've got some
Right.
anger issues to take care of. Where is it at? I'm in a fucking mood.
They went that way.
When you looked in the direction that he's pointing, unfortunately there isn't actually like a pathway in these woods that you're seeing immediately outside. Like where you're at, it's like a cave entrance, right? But it's quite overgrown. There's a lot of bushes in the way. I was going to get a response.
Come on.
We're totally mature adults.
I had to go through this mentally myself several times not to make the deliberate connection.
Cain is going to grab Francis's cane, take out the sword. Well, time to do some landscaping.
Well, you might want to start around the sides of the cave. You know, work your way up the top.
We're mature adults, people, we swear. It's all maturity here, we promise.
Is grandfather secure?
he kind of looks at you and goes, what the fuck?
Grandfather is the term the Secret Service uses to refer to the president when he's on social functions.
Oh,
Oh, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's secure, yes.
Were you bitten by anything?
No, but I was scratched heavily on chest. As
Yeah,
you
like he pulls up one part of the bloody remains of his suit jacket, and yeah, you can see like some. It kind of just looks like, you know, Freddy Krueger has attempted to gouge this guy's chest out. That's the kind of impression you would get if this was several decades later.
If you're going
Alright,
after him, he's that way. I can't. I remember seeing him before. I'm trying to piece it together.
Well, I don't need you bleeding out here on the lawn. Worry about that, man.
Okay.
Okay.
That's mine.
He's alright.
Yeah.
You didn't make him explode.
All right, let's go.
It's good that you have that suffer one less harm, because you would have taken harm from that mixed success.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm still taking the full 2. I don't feel immortal would apply to this.
Mhm.
Yeah, because effectively, like, he kind of like looks at you and say, "What the fuck?" as you head over and start the whole process, and
Then I backhand him, knock him out, and be like, "This was a dream."
Okay. You knock him out. Alright.
are you actually doing that?
Are you
Yeah.
gonna knock?
We're gonna
Alright,
jack up his
yeah.
short-term memory. All he's gonna know is he talked to some people and he survived.
All right, yeah, he as you do the whole thing, yeah, you basically, yeah, you end up have the sensation of like having these gouges come across your chest, and yeah, as soon as he kind of has that weird look as if to say, "What the fuck? I feel fine now." Yeah, you smack him one, and he's straight up, he's KO'd.
I mean, he don't feel fine. All I did was remove 2, and he's stabilized. He's still fucked up beyond belief. He's just not gonna bleed out now.
Well, yeah, but he's gone from "oh my god" to "ow."
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
You know,
We know where we are. They can't be far because he was still alive when we got here. Let's go.
Good point.
yeah. When you look at the ground around the area, there is a bunch of like, you know, blood splatter from this apparent fight, and there does appear to be some heading towards some of the trees, and there appears to be like a partial bloody handprint on one, but unfortunately it appears to just dissipate, so you're not really sure where he went from there. Who is likely to have the best orienteering skills?
Need tracking?
Probably Cain.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, Cain would.
I mean, if it's tracking, it's probably Cain.
Sharp.
I mean, if it's sharp, then it's Francis.
Do you actually have a thing for tracking specifically?
You know, it may be. That might be under investigate. Yeah.
Okay,
Fine.
instead of just
Alright,
instead
let's
of this
go.
way, which way? Where? Go.
Just
Talk.
He's going.
Finally.
Yeah, he starts heading off to the left side of the cavern as you're from the
Bet.
looking off exit.
To the left, to the left.
That was an amazing.
Finally,
sentence.
you are
Thank
useful.
Brent.
Let's go.
Aw.
What?
Ah. He said, finally, you are useful. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So you guys head off in that direction, and very quickly you do come to a spot that kind of looks like you'd be able to make your way down the cliff edge, and it would bring you right to the little dock at the side of the castle, where there is a bunch of security guys standing around. They've been going through various boxes that had been brought in recently and were also for heading out. And as soon as you guys start climbing down, one of the guards notices, whistles to the rest, and a bunch of guys come running over, guns out, like, who the fuck are you? Where are you coming from?
Urge to be 12 years old. Stop it. Mm,
Here,
We're
have
tracking-
brand coloring book.
We're tracking the assailant, intruder, whatever fuck word you want to put on him. They should have been
Yeah,
heading
but-
this way. I look at Francis.
Yeah, one of the security guys, like, sort of looks for a moment and it's like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, guys. He starts, like, waving everyone to chill out. Like, this is the guys we're radioed about. This is them. And then it's like, so what, are you guys down to help search the docks? Make sure whoever the fuck it is doesn't get away?
Yep,
Well, they had
And
just
over
attacked
there-
somebody.
and over there should be a great place to get a view.
They attacked somebody on the path we just came from, so they should have been moving this way. Trying to escape, then it should be. I point to the boat.
Yeah, as soon as you point to the boat, it's almost like the perfect timing, because that's when you hear a shotgun blast from that direction.
See, there you go.
Kane's already bolting off running.
Yeah, immediately all of the security are like turning guns raised, like, oh shit, and start heading that way. So I'm assuming all of you guys head?
He's got a bike, right? He's
Yeah.
ready to figure out.
Okay, yeah. So you guys take off, head over there, and yeah, as soon as you get there, you see a guy in what looks similar to the. There were a couple of people in black robes that had a specific skull mask, which had like a skull on the front. And what looked like I can't remember the proper term for it, but it's like it's a generic, just a face. You get them made out of porcelain, right? On the back of the head. Except he's not wearing the mask. He's got the rest of the robes on, but he's not wearing the mask.
What?
Wait. Yeah, what? He's wearing a porcelain doll
No.
mask.
No, it's like, if you remember before, there were a couple of people pointed out who had these like really exquisite looking black robes with like, the gold edging and everything, like probably cost more than several months salaries for these. He's wearing the exact same thing, except he doesn't have the same mask on.
I was wanting the random background that sounded like somebody yelling at me.
Yeah, I don't know what
I don't know
Sorry,
what that's all about.
it's hot where I am. It's hot where I am. I have a window open, and there's like 30 kids in this apartment building. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. That's fine. It was one of the louder background noises, and I'm like, wait a minute, are you guys using sound effects now?
No.
Okay. I immediately do everything I can to get on the fucking boat. I don't care about him right now. Well, I mean, I do. But I don't care.
Well, yeah, you would care about him because he's busy holding up a security guy, and that guy's no longer got a head.
I mean, I can't do anything about that. But what I
We
can
are
do,
going for the barrel.
Wait, you going for the what?
We're gonna barrel slam him. We're gonna full on sprint barrel slam into him.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
We're
yeah,
getting on that boat.
Yeah, there is a gangplank set out that you guys can head up onto the deck of this boat, where this guy has literally just decapitated one of the security. There's a couple gunshots go off, but like clearly these dudes aren't really aiming that great. They're mostly panicked about the fact that they're seeing one of their co-workers having just had his head fucking detached.
how How big of a boat are we talking? Actually, you know what? That answer is kind of irrelevant. Are we talking?
It's big. It's a boat that would be used for cargo. It's not big enough to be like a cargo ship. It's a big boat.
I was gonna
Would it be more like the equivalent of a barge?
Is there a visible?
Damn it! Can I get my question out?
No.
Yeah. What's your question?
Does it have an outboard motor or an internal motor?
Internal.
Okay.
It looks like it's just big enough to have like an engine room.
Okay.
Like the bar, it's more of a barge.
All right.
It's a big open deck. Clearly it's intended to be stacked with cargo for being brought over.
Did you have the exact same idea I did? Just shoot the motor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, unfortunately.
Well, I mean,
Oh.
the other thing is that this is a boat that is big enough that it could not be piloted by one person. Like you would actually need someone in the small engine area to directly operate the stuff, along with someone to do the steering. You need at least 2 people for this.
His partner's dead, which means there's either a third one, or this guy's just an idiot. Either way,
as soon as you run up, you can see there were a few crates on the boat, and one of them has been upturned, and there's a bunch of like wine bottles and stuff have fallen out. So you could kind of make the assumption that he was probably attempting to hide near or in that box, and it got searched.
So idiot. Got it. Okay.
Attention, Dracula. You have nowhere to run. Surrender now, and there may be mercy.
He looks across as you guys are running up the gangplank and just kind of laughs at you as he discards the body. And like now you can clearly see he is like caked in this dude's blood.
I still hold on my original idea of we are barrel charging this guy.
All right.
Oh look, there goes a rhino.
Rude, but not inaccurate.
If it works, it works. Go for it.
It
Alright,
just
yeah.
works.
Yeah.
He wouldn't happen to be
yeah,
wearing
yeah.
that medallion, would he?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
Damn. What is the medallion that Dracula's supposed to be wearing?
What? No, not what?
If you're talking about in Bram Stoker's, it's the amulet for the group of knights that he was part of. They were
Order of the Dragon.
yeah, Order of the Dragon. That's what it is.
Say Knights of the Dragon. I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
But that's
Yeah,
not
right.
the,
Yeah,
that is
I
not the
couldn't
amulet
remember.
you guys saw that he might
No.
have taken. So
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm saying that is specific to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
And for the record, Nathaniel is just calling him a Dracula because
Yeah.
Nathaniel doesn't know the word for vampire.
Oh, I thought you were just being rude.
No, I
No,
just
I
like
mean,
the
it's
idea of
100%
calling
true.
vampires Dracula because that's what he
Yeah.
associates him with.
Fair
I
enough.
mean, the funny thing with that, I've heard people just talking about stuff like that from like old recordings, where
Oh, look, it's a Dracula.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Rather than it's a vampire, it's a Dracula. Like I've heard people saying that.
or it's a
Well,
Nosferatu.
it could either be.
which
No.
would have been at
We
that
can
time.
make this more insulting. Varney the vampire.
Well, the fact is, though, this would be about the time when Nosferatu also was around as a movie, so you could call it Nosferatu.
Nah, he ain't ugly enough.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not quite bestial enough to be.
He's not ugly. He's not as ugly as Count Orlok.
No.
But anyway,
Hey,
He's
to
hitting
be
Cain in the
fair,
face.
To be fair, right? Yeah, he's hitting Cain in the face. So, Yeah. What are we using for combat again? Do you actually roll an attack, or is it the?
I have not yet. I was
No,
actually
he
gonna ask
describes
you
what he's going
you
to
if you
do.
want me
He
to.
rolls, kicks some ass, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
the game
can
doesn't
roll
really
your
have
kick.
rules.
Yeah, roll to kick some ass with your barrel charge. Nice. Yeah, as he's standing there, just like dump the body and everything, he's like, ha ha ha. He looks like he's about to potentially, jump into a monologue about how, oh, you guys suck, blah blah blah, and then is immediately smashed as the brick shithouse of Cain Ripper Riveria rips into him, and you both end up on the ground. Him immediately like, what the fuck? Like, he is super offended that you would deign to shoulder charge him onto the ground.
Seed.
Fucking do it again, dude.
And he will attempt to basically punch you straight in the face. Like, how fucking dare you? And due to the way that you sort of landed, he goes to hit you, but you sort of sit up just in time for him instead to basically punch you in the chest. But luckily enough, your armor basically soaks it. Like, you feel like you've just been hit with a bit of a truckload.
Hang on.
But it's kind of soaked.
None of us are wearing our armor because we're in our party gear.
You,
Francis's
have
suit
your
jacket
armor
is still. Francis's jacket is still armored, or at least padded.
You're not wearing your jacket. You're wearing the suit I bought you.
But you're not wearing it. No, you have no armor, guys.
Hold on. Nathaniel legitimately has a bulletproof vest which can be worn under clothing.
Okay.
well, you got your suit specific. Or wait, you were at the store.
So
This
I'm
armor
kind of
has concealable, so you can wear it under.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Let me check. Does it have concealable?
I mean, it's yours is 2 armor, isn't it? I don't usually
yeah.
think 2
Okay,
armor
it
comes
has
with
hidden.
concealable.
No.
That's
flat
it. That's
vest,
it.
1 armor hidden.
Okay, yeah, that's hidden, not
Alright.
concealed. Concealables for weapons.
Okay. Right. Let me just make a note of that.
Because El's definitely not wearing their armor. But
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as party.
Yeah, Cain is
weird
definitely
for
not
armor.
wearing his.
But Nathaniel is very weird, so.
All right. Yeah. No, that's fine. I was not aware that of that. I was assuming that you guys just still had it. But, that's fair. Okay. Yeah. So you get, because he goes for the face, but because you're able to set up quick enough, being in control of the attack. Yeah, he misses and basically smacks you on. Unfortunately, it's the shoulder you kind of got bit on, so it really fucking hurts, and you end up taking 2 from that, like, fucking straight up barrel punch to the shoulder.
now, you did get a full success, and one of the extra things on full success is take less harm, so you could
Which you can
tag
do.
that on if you'd like. Yeah.
I think I will do that. I think,
Fair enough.
I'll take a less harm.
Fair enough. So yeah, you take 1, but you clearly feel that this is definitely, like, other than the entire situation kind of pointing it out blatantly. You've been punched by people in the past. You know this guy just hit you for way fucking harder.
Yeah.
So
this is
you are
amazing.
definitely not going against you, even just like somebody who's
Has
really well
strength
built.
of demons.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that is the same level of harm that El's can do. Speaking of, El's gonna rush in, and while this dude's on the ground going to sit up, give him a nice little roundhouse kick to the mouth. We're gonna try and break them teepees.
Go for it. Kick him in the gob.
Ha!
You know what? We're gonna go for terrible harm. We're gonna do 3 to him.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, you run
3
up.
holy damage.
No, it's not with the whip. He goes to put his hands down to like try and push up and try and knock Cain back, but of course in the process, suddenly there's a foot in the face, and he's punched straight. Well, he's kicked straight in the face, and immediately goes flat and gets extra damage from the fact that you've just basically pounded his head into the fucking deck of that ship. And
Also,
a couple of the boards actually like clearly snap and bend. One of them ends up sticking up at an angle from the impact.
As far as he's concerned, he just got hit with a foot that feels like silver.
Speaking of silver,
Wait, do you actually get that on everything? Oh, it does. Okay, right, fair
It
enough.
does.
Right, sorry, I could have sworn that was only. I forgot about the your body part.
So
yeah, fair
basically,
enough.
Elle, when you did that, it seems like you feel like you did the damage, but you feel like you might have done a more damage than normal with that attack.
All right, give me my strike. Give me my damage back.
Yeah, so as soon as he hits off that, he does kind of roll to the side a bit, and in the process knocking Cain off him. So you kind of are shoved to the side a bit, and he basically like slams his hands on the deck, pushing himself up, and turns to slash at you with his you almost see it in like slow motion as he's turning, like the fingernails growing into like actual claws as he turns around and goes to swipe at you, which in theory, if you were a normal person, would likely do 2 damage to you, and definitely fuck up your shirt, which might incur further damages because you know it's damaging your more expensive suit.
You know what I think? I think Elle gets a hold against the next time that they attack him. This was Elle's good.
I mean, all of Elle's clothes are good clothing, but I mean, I'm not going to argue against it. But,
Question.
how much harm coming at me?
2.
so you take 1.
Does the vampire, does the Dracula, let's stay in character, does the Dracula have the amulet or anything like on him visible at all?
Not that you can see.
Yeah,
Is
that was one of
there
my first
any-
questions. My first thought was just rip it off of him.
Yeah, well, the other question is like the amulet. Do we have a good idea of what size it is? Could he conceivably be hiding
You
it somewhere
actually saw you saw the amulet when you were in
Yeah.
the gallery. You know exactly what it looks like.
Okay, so please remind me, because that was 2 weeks ago. Like, is it something that you could conceivably like hide on you even under these circumstances, or is it likely he doesn't even have it on?
It could be hidden.
Could theoretically be.
It's like, yeah, if you remember the because I'm completely blanking on the actual like sizing thing, but you know in that one movie with that dude with a hat, he gets chased by a giant boulder. There's a guy from a very bad group of people who burns a metal amulet into his
Indiana
hands.
Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, we're trying to
You
stay
could
in
warn them
character
if
with
only you spoke Ovitos.
with the weird future events Nathaniel had. Yeah, the
So my question, okay,
About the
my
size of
follow-up question to that then is, while this is going on, because let's be honest here, between Cain, Elle, and Francis, who keeps insisting he has a silver weapon, hopefully he'll use it.
It's a silver
It looks-
bullet.
It looks like they might have this particular vampire handled. Can I take a moment to look around and make sure that there like isn't a second vampire sneaking away as all this is going on? Like this isn't the distraction?
yeah, you could definitely do that. That would probably be an act under pressure, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
All right.
I'm still with a
Come
-1.
on, let's get you some treats.
I thought we agreed that fate had decided.
No, Fate just decides that despite having the -1, you will keep rolling successes.
Yeah.
Come on, let's get you some experience before I roll my kick some ass.
Alright, sorry, I was just reading, checking something real quick here. Alright, act under pressure, that is cool. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've had a good sporting chance.
There we go.
All right, yeah.
Next.
So yeah, when you look around, in the brief few moments, you don't immediately see anything that looks like, hey, I'm actually over here and I've totally got the amulet. Hell, unfortunately, you don't see a guy with a neon sign on a. You don't get the target lock, unfortunately. Mostly due to the fact that there's a whole pile of people running around. The guards and everything are running around on the dock itself to try and cover any escapes. Unfortunately, you don't really see if there is any others. Although at the same time, you don't really get the impression there are.
That there would be another, like...
Yeah, as far as you know, there is only the one issue to be dealt with, and that's the one currently being kicked in the face.
Okay. Can I try and shoot him in the face at the same time?
No.
Alright.
Well, Francis will now try
if
to...
if we're working on initiative rules, who's next?
Me.
Alright,
Who
go
is
ahead.
finally going to shoot the damn thing. Or at least try.
Alright, go for it. Yeah, and you pull out your gun!
Yikes. Alright, so silver?
Yep, silver bullets.
Okay.
Got used for carrying since day one, and
How
regular
much damage does your normal weapon do?
38 rollers, so 2 harm. However, I get the success thing, right?
Yep.
I'm going to choose to do an extra harm to the guy.
Okay.
So he has
Oh,
just
sweet.
taken 3 harm and a silver bullet.
Actually, he's taking more.
I was considering, just for a moment,
Again, it
Toward
looks
the holy
your normal attack seems to have done more than it normally does.
finally the stuff Francis has been toting since day 1 is useful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes it comes down to the little thing you've been carrying the entire game, and everyone's been like, look at this weirdo, and then it turns out to come in clutch in the very last episode.
Well, it's not the
it's like
last
Space
episode,
Quest.
but yeah.
Well, it's like Space Quest, where in one of the games, the first item you get is a fish, and multiple times you think you lose it, and people are like, "Hey, don't forget your fish," and it literally is only used in like the second last puzzle of the entire game. Yeah, it's almost like it's designed by Sierra.
Who realized people could soft lock themselves.
All right, so
They intended. So yeah, you pull out your gun and you level it and you pull the trigger, and he immediately yells out in pain as you shoot him in the fucking face. Just after he slashed the L. Basically, on the recoil, he sort of looks up, immediately takes the shot to the face, and spins around dramatically, hitting the ground, and quickly stands up, holding the side of his face, where there's now clearly a sizable bullet when you think you just point blank up with a shotgun down here, because there's now a huge chunk taken out the side of his face, that he like kind of grasps his hand around, screams out, and then sorry, I'm trying to position this in my head here. Yeah, he then looks down, grabs that chunk of wood that got picked up when he got nailed, and launches it straight at you.
No, my plan.
Yeah.
Well, now it's my plan! But it could be your plan if you want.
Well, I mean, he's literally just grabbed it, ripped it off the deck, and thrown it directly at you, Mr. Francis. where it smashes you in the other shoulder, enough that basically knocks you spinning. And unless you've got anything to deal with it, you're getting smacked for 2.
I do not, apparently. If I don't have my
Yeah.
coat, I don't have armor.
Cain pick him up and body slam him out of the wood. Damn it!
There are other bits of wood. Because I did specify that several.
What? I like the body slam.
Alright, so upon seeing this, Nathaniel aims his gun at the Dracula and says, "Hey, hey, hey!" And when the Dracula looks at him, Nathaniel says, "Good shot," and then shoots him.
Will
Okay.
you take the XP or will you use the luck?
Are you using regular bullets?
I did not.
His weapon will be using regular bullets because
Okay.
he
No
doesn't actually have his pistol.
Alright, thank you.
No, I specifically gave him a weapon from Harrison's locker.
Yeah, that's what
Oh.
I'm saying.
Hey, you have a
Oh.
rifle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. I do have a rifle. Okay. I mean, it amounts to the same, but all right.
So whatever Harrison's
yeah,
bullets
for-
for pack egg.
Yeah, for the purposes of this, we're using the hunting rifle weapon stats.
I mean, it still kicks a bat's either way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
good.
you know, on the assumption that he hits, it will be hunting rifle.
Oh yeah, you will have silver bullets then, because I remember we were going to the gun cabinet and found them.
Yeah. Sorry, hold on. I'm just trying to. Where is kick? There it is. Okay. Couldn't find it for some reason.
It actually does matter this time.
I honestly hate the layout of this character sheet sometimes.
I do too.
What matters? What matters this time?
What type of gun you
Silver.
got?
Okay.
Yeah, this is straight out of the Harrison gun cabinet. I'm like, I'll
Yeah,
patch out silver bullets because we knew what we were going
Yeah.
after.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it was called out. I do
Okay.
remember it being called out.
Alright, so success.
This vampire stood no chance.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
Are you
yeah,
gonna do the extra harm?
Yeah, what are you gonna pick for your extra?
Well, honestly, you know what? I will give. You know, no, it makes the most sense. Just go for the extra harm. I was gonna give a forward to L, but like mechanically, I'm pretty sure it's more advantageous to just do extra harm now, assuming these are in fact silver bullets.
They are silver bullets.
And that what's his name wasn't lying about them. Yeah. I mean, they could be antimony.
All right, so
Well, no, I mean the fact that you guys saw one of them get hit with a slug and burst into effectively ash, you're pretty sure. You know, there's also the fact that the guy is one of the richest dudes in the world. If he's going to have silver bullets, they're going to be silver bullets. You know?
The highest quality.
all right.
Yeah.
But like I said, so hunting rifles normally do 2 harm. I'm adding a +1 for 3.
Yep. And he, yeah, as
Also
you,
very loud.
yeah, as you level that out, he's literally in the process of standing up and yeah, glanced at you with the fuck are you on about?
Good
Kind of
shot.
look. Yeah, as soon as you say that, and then boom, shoot him. Where are you shooting him?
Straight in the heart.
You're aiming for the chest, okay? Yeah, you hit
Not
him.
the chest, the heart.
Yeah, but you got to get through the chest to get to the heart. The chest
Fair.
is kind of in the way. Yeah, so you hit him. He goes flying back into the side of the. There's a word for it.
Boat?
Yeah. It's the little railing thing that comes up and stops you falling overboard. Fuck it.
The
He hits.
railing?
Guardrail?
He hit. Yeah, he hits the
Guardrails.
rail. He hits the rail and is almost thrown overboard by it, but leans back up with one hand clutching at his face and the other hand now clutching at the chest. Because yeah, this was a normal person, yeah, you'd probably just blown his heart straight out the back of him. He leans up like, clearly in a lot of fucking pain from that. Basically then crouches real quick.
To freeze, you freeze!
Yeah, he crouches down and basically leaps clean over the others, and unfortunately it's far enough that you guys can't actually grab him. Unless you really go for it.
I want to try a thing.
Well, you could try a thing.
Well, tell you what, if you want to try and save Nathaniel from getting attacked by a jumping vampire,
oh no, I was gonna say pull.
Depending on the jumping vampire,
I got a
depending
shotgun.
on which jumping vampire, Nathaniel might shoot you for stopping her.
Fair. But I also got a shotgun,
Okay,
and I got an airborne target.
that's
I
true.
mean,
Well-
this is the return harm.
yeah. So
Oh, fair.
yeah, he's gonna leap over and take a slash at Nathaniel. Well, actually no, he's not gonna take a slash at Nathaniel. He's effectively gonna leap over with the intent to basically land on you with both feet straight into the chest with the intent of kicking you back.
Kind of Mario stomp you.
I mean,
Hey,
I could
Yeah.
do a thing to stop
question
it.
then, does that mean, to my understanding of our positioning, Nathaniel was behind Francis. So does that mean the vampire now has his back to Francis?
Yes.
Good!
Technically, if he remains in that position,
But this was a retaliatory action, and it's
tell you
going to
what,
be Cain's next turn. Which,
And
tell
I
you
actually
what,
have a
yeah.
move that allows
Hold
me
on.
to stop.
Mhm.
okay, hold on for a second. I want
Why
you
does-
guys. Who wants to call a heads or tails?
Heads.
No, I'll do tails on mine.
Okay, so one, it's Francis's turn next. Two, it's Cain. It's
Damn.
Cain.
Oh well.
Well,
Which
either
Cain,
way,
bring
I-
something else in.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because on my mental image of this, effectively what happens is, yeah, he jumps over and picks Nathaniel straight in the chest. Would normally do 2, but you do have your armor, so that's dropped to 1. But
Dropped to 0.
you are pushed back.
Much like it's dropped to 0, much like with L and their like immortal battlefield awareness. Battlefield awareness gives me an extra layer of armor at all times.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
I was also going to do that because I also
Oh,
have that.
okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So 2 layers of armor, 0 harm.
All right. Yeah, he
You got nothing on Xianko.
gives you both feet in the chest. You're clearly aware that this would fucking hurt without the armor and your previous skills as you're pushed back. Unfortunately for him, you're not shoved onto your ass because you cinematically slide back on your feet and basically take all the recoil of that, as he will effectively backflip off you, landing back on his feet, still kind of clutching at his chest.
Adding resisting arrest. Someone else.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, go ahead. Talk about.
Yep. What you doing, Cain?
We're leveling this shotgun and we're pulling the trigger on him. Like we will. I'm going to point blank this bitch.
Oh, you gotta point blank him in the back.
Yeah, back of the head.
Ooh, back up.
Okay.
Do you have anything that gives you extra damage on back shots?
Technically, yes, actually.
Because I've got this, which is why the positioning matters. Oh, you be doing fire and silver damage.
Okay,
No,
that's
it's not fire. It's just it's anger, anger issues effectively.
Yeah, yes, he is now in fact angry kitten.
Well, roll your kick some ass.
Yep, roll it. You get +1 because of the silver ammo.
Velma, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, are you gonna get into this fight?
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Are you gonna get into this fight? Because it would be your turn next.
If it lives that long. Because I think Kate is going to just opt to do 4 damage to this guy.
It's
No,
still
I'm
alive.
opting to do absolute max damage because I'm spending one fire to do another additional harm. I'm spending the 12 to do an additional harm.
I'll probably end up watching
And
this
the
fight
shotgun
for the
does 2
reason that I
damage.
did. I'll probably end up
The
watching this
silver
fight.
Say it again.
I'll probably end up watching this fight here due to the reason that I joined late. I was halfway through on whatever you guys were doing in the story, in the campaign.
All right.
Oh, shotgun does 3 harm, so you just did 5 to this guy plus a silver bullet.
Yeah.
It's still not dead, but definitely hurting a lot. Parts of its body is gone and still moving.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just point blank the fucker in the back of the head. So yeah.
Yeah, he's still moving. He's just parts of his body is kind of like starting
his
to
face
repair itself, but taking its dear old time because of the silver.
Yeah, you can actually see from each of the wounds with the actual silver. Yeah, you can see where like the skin is all ripped up because of the damages. The bits of it do appear to be attempting to knit back together, but at the same time, you could swear there's actual like bits of smoke coming off the skin where it appears to be burning.
Elle,
Or-
you want
or
to kick?
more
You want to kick some ass
smoldering.
with some holy water?
That's just a case of holy shit. I just did 3 damage with the shotgun, plus the 1 from the fire, plus the 1 from kick some ass, plus the silver.
I mean, it looks bad. It looks really bad, but he is still up.
Is he not able to do reciprocal damage anymore?
No, he's still able to do reciprocal.
Good.
I'm
Throws
just
a wine bottle at you.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you say that because yeah, he totally does that. He quickly reaches down, grabs one of the bottles that's scattered from the case, and just whips it straight into your face. Which,
Wow.
do you have?
Like,
armor
seriously,
from?
that would be fatal.
Yeah,
Technically, I don't have armor.
Well, that,
In real life, that would be fatal.
uh,
This is working very different rules.
yeah. That sucks because at the close range, he whips the bottle straight into your face. Like he's effectively still holding it as it smashes into your face, and you're suddenly overcome with the scent of elderberries and overbearing pretension. You get the impression this is probably a good bottle. There's a big problem with that good bottle in that it's now embedded into your fleshy skin, which really fucking hurts, giving you 3 damage.
There's a hamster on the label.
Yeah.
Damn.
Strangely enough, the word's Clarkson's Farm.
Alright. We're all gonna try to do their classic of Kalimata, stat his heart out.
Okay.
Oh, you're
We
gonna
need to
go
quick,
all
'cause
Sub-Zero.
I'm down to 1 hit point left.
Dude, you can't die.
I can after I After the fight's over, effectively.
Well, this
It's
is
almost
this is
like
fun.
bodily charging a vampire is a risky idea.
No. This vampire must stand no chance. Even though I got a big success, I'm still going to spend luck to kick it to a 12.
Okay.
He must stand no
um,
chance.
So I'm assuming you're doing the extra harm.
No, I'm going to force them where I want, which is I want them facing away from Francis.
Ah. Okay, yeah. So how are you doing this?
So I go to rip out their heart, realizing, and they basically stop me. So we elbow them in the teeth, try to break their fangs again. Doing so, wrap around them. We put them in a half-ass grapple, spin them around as if it was a tango move, leaving them disoriented, facing me on the opposite side of Francis.
And with that, Francis, let's rip with his back shot. I'm spending luck to kick that up to a 12.
Okay.
I haven't used any luck.
All right.
And as this is going on, I will pick up the half-shattered bottle of wine, take a sip, throw it on the ground, say, "What is a vampire but a miserable pile of secrets?"
No. What is a vampire but a miserable pile of pretension?
Oh, I like
So-
that one better, actually.
With
Thank you.
sneaky plus the two from my revolver, and kicking it up to a 12, this guy just took 5 harm and a silver bullet.
Yeah, in the process, as you do that, yeah, just before the extra bullet comes in, he initially, yeah, because he kind of has that like ha, you done fucked up kind of look as you go for the heart ripper, and he knocks a hand away, and then yeah, is taken completely by surprise by the grapple, and he ends up standing there like with that kind of look on, like he clearly thinks you completely fucked up what you were intending on doing, although he reaches up with his hand to the fact that you clearly smashed out several teeth, including one of the fangs, that kind of drops down, and he'll sort of lunge forward at you just before the other bullet comes in, aiming to basically stab you in the chest with his claws, which would be a 3, but it's kicked down to 2 for you. And then yeah, the bullet comes in, and he basically freezes, like pulling his hand away.
I will grab his
from
arm,
that.
not letting him even do it. It's like, no, I didn't fuck up. You did.
Oh no! When he pulls his hand back, and from attacking you with that, and Francis's bullet hits him like basically square in the fucking spine. He kind of just has this confused look when you grab his hand before he drops onto his knees, pants like 2 breaths, and then you start feeling the fact that arm you're holding is starting to feel very fucking warm.
Does it look like he's like starting to glow?
It looks like he might be turning into ash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Never mind.
yeah.
He is
From the
discomforted.
sizable, from the sizable, like the tear caused by the fact that someone with a hunting rifle shot him in the fucking chest, not 2 minutes ago. Yeah, you can see that the areas around that appeared like they might be slightly singeing. It looks
What-
like
no, no,
there's actually like a proper sort of glow of like, yes, he might actually be in the process of immolating.
Discorporating.
No, he's
Immolating's fine. Immolating's fine. I thought you were describing he was about ready to explode. I'm like, oh shit, I'm throwing him into the bridge cabin.
Well, he could explode.
I do kind of like the idea of vampires, like, it's not so much exploding, but it's like, no, their body turns into a raging inferno for a few seconds. So, like, they could legitimately start a large fire.
You don't know.
You know,
It feels very warm.
not taking any
Francis
chances.
holds up. Yeah, Francis holds up the vial of holy water. Want it?
No, I'm not. No. I grab it. I'm just gonna like whip him into the enclosed cabin and close the door.
All right,
Okay.
yeah, and yeah, you as you do that and are then slamming the door closed, you do kind of see that yes, this guy just like he bursts into flames, and yeah, you can feel even through the door. For a couple seconds, there is an intense heat. And then just complete silence from in that room, other than you can still hear the guys running around, like aiming guns. Like no one's been firing because you guys have been clustered around the thing. But they're all like, clearly there's a lot of confused shouting going on between the security personnel as to what the fuck they just witnessed. And yeah, as you take like a moment and then sort of pull the door open a little bit, glance around the side, and yeah, you see effectively as he landed, he basically ended up sitting against the wall. There's a sizable scorch mark imprint in the wood wall and the floor, and a pile of ash.
It's one of
And
those old-fashioned
also a
pump.
few of the
It's one of those old-fashioned pump fire extinguishers nearby.
yes,
Nothing's
but
on fire right
you
now.
don't. Yeah, you don't need it. There's a few bits of the clothing that he was wearing, the robes that are still like. There's a couple bits of them sitting around the edge that have little flames, but it's not enough that you would be worried about that being a fire hazard.
Let's
But
sift
yeah,
through the ash to find the thingy.
If it's there.
Well, that's the thing. It's not.
I knew it.
When you head over and like sort of use your foot to kind of just stomp through the ashes a little bit, not really stomp, but you know what I mean, just kind of nudge everything through. There's a few bits and pieces of like now very scorched and partially melted coins, and also a few pieces of like metallic jewelry to do with the outfit and everything.
But you do not see the amulet.
Yeah, unfortunately, the amulet is not there.
KarsaKKWx has it.
Now, why would you think that? I mean, that's just crazy.
Seriously, why do you keep saying that?
Because one of the Secret Service guys was at the exit of the cave when he was supposed to have left out the front door. Well before the attack happened.
Okay, roll me a sharp, please.
That's
There's something to that effect.
He was the distraction.
Well, I mean, let's see. Yeah, we got about 100 years before the Supreme Court decides the president can't do an illegal thing.
Alright. Well, have the guards search the boat. I'm gonna go grab the unconscious guy,
Okay.
drag him back.
And this is where Francis's other powers come in handy.
Yeah, when you head back across, you kind of realize it would be a rather difficult thing to climb back up the area that you came down. Like much easier to climb down than climb up. But yeah, one of the guys like sees what you're doing, and he comes over with a ladder from.
I think vertical surfaces are irrelevant to L.
Well, they're not.
Yeah.
Kane's just gonna
I mean,
stick
they are.
back. It's
Sorry,
just
the other one.
because Kane's hurting. He's just gonna stick back for a bit.
Kane's
I mean,
gonna go find his date.
I'm fucked up too, dude. I'm sitting. I'm sitting on 5 harm and I'm unstable, but I gotta.
Velma,
That doesn't matter. I gotta go save this guy.
this is when you actually get there finally, and you see your people are fucked up.
I'm sitting at 1 out of 7 left.
If I didn't have Immortal, I'd be dead.
Oh, same.
I'm completely fine.
Well, fuck you.
I took a grand
It's
total
almost
of 2.
like directly tackling a vampire was a risky
Good
idea.
idea.
And I'll do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean that is kind of the slight problem. Is that yes,
Well,
that is
well,
the
Cain,
first
this is how
thought
we.
that
Cain,
Cain
this is
had.
how we write. This is how we write you out for a couple weeks. Hey, look, there's a vampire in the ocean.
That's a good
Oh,
point. No.
I could-
Joking
I could
aside,
just
that's a good
pic-
point. Scan the
I can
waters.
actually just picture
Is
him.
there someone swimming away?
No.
No. But no, it gives me the mental impression of Cain just whipping out, Francis' sword, putting it in his mouth as he's doggy paddling out to sea looking for the vampire.
For a non-existent vampire.
Yeah.
I mean, that is unstable kick, so he takes 1 harm, dies, and drowns.
Good
Yeah,
times.
you are accidentally too aggressive in biting that sword, and you accidentally break the sword, which then falls on your foot and impales
No,
you to the spot where you then immediately explode.
Well, no, that's the thing. With Cain and I both being unstable, there is a point where you two can just be like, and you take a harm. And again, this would be one of those things where I would be totally fine with it bypassing immortal because it's me bleeding out.
Oh, I'm aware. But yeah, you're able to make your way up there. Like one of the other guys comes along with you. Like
Francis
to
will
see
follow
what
because he's
the fuck you're
sitting
doing.
kind of pretty.
All right, yeah. So yeah, you guys are able to, get back up and follow the pathway back along to where that guy is, and yeah, he's still sitting there, KO'd, and with both of you plus the extra guard that's gone along with you, you're able to carry him back.
Oh, by the way, this guy can't leave and remove his weapons.
Yeah, yeah. When you collect him up, you pick up the remains of the Mauser that he had. That's his only weapon that he had, and on looking at it, yeah, you can see why he was so fucked up, because yeah, the internal magazine is half empty. He does have a couple extra stripper clips worth of regular bullets, and yeah, the barrel basically looks like someone grabbed the barrel and like ripped it straight out, not bent or snapped it, but just pulled it clean out.
Well, I'll get back. Look at the Daniel, hand him the remains of the pistol. I don't think that's standard issue Secret Service, is it?
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I could not actually find out. I was trying to find out like what the standard stuff would be in the 20s, and eventually gave up and just looked for weapons from the 20s.
Well, my question would be, why would the American Secret Service be standard issue a German pistol?
Well, because U.S. isn't at war with Germany right now, and like, it's a good
Yes,
gun.
but the Colt 1911 also exists.
True.
Fair. So here's the thing. I must turn to the voices. Voices.
Yeah.
Is this gun standard issue for the Secret Service? Or even if it's not standard issue, how unusual would it be for a Secret Service agent to have this gun?
Well, it could be like his special gun, but he would definitely be given a standard issued weapon.
Yeah,
this,
for the
this may
purposes
be
of it.
something that he actually uses like as an heirloom or whatever, or the fact that he was fighting in the German war or in the Great War, and so maybe he kept it because of that. But
that's also
you will find that there is another weapon, and it is the standard issue weapon on him as well. But it's out of bullets.
It makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
That'll carry 7 rounds.
So
If it's 1911.
So yeah, to clarify, yes, this specific gun is not standard issue. The standard issue would be the 1911. However, yeah, because it has the same capacity and such, they would likely be okay with allowing him to use his own personal sidearm, which is
it's
likely
always
what
faster
this
to
is.
switch to a second gun than it is to reload.
True.
I mean, if he has the standard issue on him, then I no longer care. trying to figure out a way if this guy was faking being a Secret Service agent.
No, he
I
is
mean, I'll
actually.
check his-
He's a.
Yeah, say I
You.
look for
Yeah,
like identity.
it's very easy. Basically, as soon as everyone comes back, yeah, Nathaniel would easily be able to go over, pull open part of the bloodstained jacket, whip out a wallet, opens it up. Yes, there is a legitimate ID badge in there specifying him as Agent Mark Brown of the Secret Service, and that's Mark with a C, by the way. So you know that in the future he's going to go into a coffee shop one time and mention that he wants his order for Mark with a C, to which the cup is going to say Kark.
No, it'll say MRKC.
As a prank, Nathaniel will take a little pen he has and draw a line in front of the C, just in front, so it becomes Mark with a K.
Oh, that's rude.
No one will ever know he did it. Like,
Well, yeah, he's knocked out. He'll never know. So yeah, the security, they'll basically take all of they'll take that guy back over towards the castle, because they'll have a spot for putting stuff away, like a sort of medical spot for anyone that got hurt or whatever. They basically take them to that, and someone radios up to Harrison. You're able to hear some of the radio call going on from the office, which sounds like Harrison's kind of pissed, and also question why the fuck there's one of the Secret Service guys still here, because Coolidge
Interesting. I
and
was going to
his
ask him when he woke
entourage
up.
left.
I fully agree we should be talking to this guy as soon as he wakes up.
I
How hard
knocked
would
him
you-
out. Enough to trigger maybe a concussion.
Well, if he's still unconscious, you definitely did enough to trigger a concussion.
I needed him to forget he saw magic.
I don't know if like health plans exist yet.
He got the best health plan he could get. Lay on hands.
Fair.
Bro.
That's like, does lay on hands cure long-term neurological damage?
No,
well,
because he got that after
hit
he
him
used
with
lay
some
on hands.
adrenaline. That's been synthesized already.
Fair point. Yeah.
Yeah, hit him with the EpiPen.
EpiPens haven't been invented yet, but adrenaline has.
Trust me, EpiPens have
epinephrine.
not been invented yet, because I was on the list for the EpiPens in real life.
So let's
Epinephrine is
not inject this
synthesized
man
adrenaline.
with adrenaline after everything else he's been through. Let's just wait an hour.
Aw.
Alright, so you're going to wait an hour?
Yeah, and in the time that you guys are waiting, because
He's kind of
couple
our
of you
last.
guys, a couple of you guys are quite fucked up. So yeah, you guys get some sort of stabilizing medical care in the meantime, so you're not
someone-
immediately bleeding out to death.
Can someone go reach the Waystone Mystery guy? Just update him as to what we found and did.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because
Waystone Society, I mean.
yeah, while you are sitting there waiting for stuff, it's about 10 minutes go by while you guys are getting treatments and whatnot. Hayden comes down with a couple of the other guards, immediately heads over to the ship, goes up, opens the door, has a look in, and you can immediately tell that for a guy that generally doesn't seem that fond of amusement for the most part, he's clearly quite happy that you absolutely fucked up a vampire. There's a blatant, he is very happy with that situation. Not so much the fact that you dealt with the situation, the fact that you killed a vampire. Violently.
Just the fact that we killed. Just the fact that there's one less vampire in the world.
Yeah, he has seems like he has a vendetta to vampires.
Sure.
Yeah, one of the sort of small points of that is you kind of notice that whilst whilst having like a little yeah, get fucked asshole kind of look on him, he does sort of pause, and there's a moment where he's clearly like rubbing his arm.
Is it when he sees the now headless man that the vampire killed before we got there?
Oh no, it's at the remains of the vampire.
Okay.
He does kind of lose that amused sort of appearance as he looks over at the guy that got his head ripped off, and there's that kind of expression as if like, fuck.
I do like the idea that just by seeing the vampire's remains and seeing the state that we're in, he can like work out not exactly what happened, but the general gist of what happened.
Yeah, and he appears to go
We
over.
won the fight. It was costly.
Yeah, he goes over to the guard and crouches down. You can't see what he's doing because he's on this ship, but stands up a moment later, just kind of appears like he's doing some sort of like what's the word? Not exactly. The thing with like doing the cross symbol, like it's similar to that, but he's not actually doing that motion. And then he heads back down off the boat and heads over to you guys. Just kind of casually holding the arm that he always happens to have a glove wearing. It says, "So, vampires, eh?"
Yeah, you
Yep.
only saw 2 when they attacked.
Only saw 2.
Then they had
Is he
contact
lying?
on the island.
He is not
He's
lying.
100% honest. Yeah.
Damn.
Your lying sense does not trigger when he says that, yeah, as far as he's aware, there are only 2.
And you were sure
Or
one
then
of those.
says where.
And then you
He didn't
were-
have the amulet on him,
and you're sure
or
one of
it burnt up with him. I don't know. It was magic. Maybe it burns up when a vampire.
There's no way.
It wouldn't.
Ashley comes down.
Yeah.
There is no way that amulet has burned.
Then
Yeah,
it's-
he actually mentions the amulet itself is made of stone.
You're absolutely sure
It's
one of
also
them had it
magic. Who
on them.
knows?
Oh, what do you say now?
And you're absolutely certain one of them had it on them when they went out the window.
Yes.
Then they had a contact on the island. They have passed it on to someone else.
Or they hid it somewhere.
God damn it. He gestures over to one of the guards that comes over and he's like, "Search every single box. No stone unturned, literally. Get to it." And the guy's like, "Oh fuck," and he heads off. You hear within like 30 seconds there's a radio call being sent out that yes, the whole fucking place is to be searched and everyone there is to be checked as well. Which within the next like 5 minutes you start hearing a lot of angry shouting coming from the castle of people who don't want to be searched being searched.
They still haven't been able to leave. The only one who was able to leave was Coolidge. And most of these people have been taken care of. Ashley says this. The president,
waiting.
however, has left, and so did most of his SSA.
Secret Service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So-
and Aiden's just like, yeah, but at the time we weren't, like, this hadn't happened when he left.
No,
Yeah.
from what we
So-
know, he left early.
Makes
Before
you
it.
question why Hell's up unconscious man. This one is still here.
Yeah, and Hayden looks at the guy and there's that clear expression of, yeah, why the fuck is he here?
You know what? Let's find out. I drop him in the water.
Oh,
Alright,
come
yeah,
on.
it takes like a second. He starts like coughing and that, and
And I grab him.
as you
Drop him.
pull him, yeah, as you pull him back up, he's kind of head fucking moving side to side as like you basically just waterboarded him. So yeah, he's coughing up stuff and like shaking his head like, what the fuck? What the hell?
I'll give him a
He's
towel.
confused as shit. All right, yeah, he puts the towel around, like gets rid of the water and everything, coughs a few times, like, oh, try to fucking kill me. What the hell?
No, if I wanted to kill you, I wouldn't have bothered healing you.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Agent.
He just kind of looks at you with a confused, what kind of look?
Describe what happened from the moment. Describe what happened from the moment President Coolidge decided to leave.
He looks around the group, and there's that clear, like, he doesn't want to say anything. He's like, I can't discuss official business.
This is a thing. Agent. Like, this is an investigation. Grandfather is secure. We simply need to know what else happened here.
He just looks at you. Are you Secret Service?
BOI.
Then you don't need to know. Like, effectively, he's
Francis
attempting to pull rank.
will take
He's
a
trying to
deep,
pull
sharp
rank.
breath
This
in.
actually raises an interesting question, yeah, because I think the BOI would outrank him in anything except the president's like actual security, but I'm not sure. This would be like legitimately a mess of red tape.
This would be
Yeah,
the
well,
red tape.
Francis will
Who
take
could
a
order
sharp
who around
breath
here?
in through his teeth.
Wait,
My
what-
friend,
what-
this is a
what-
matter of it. This is potentially a matter of national as well as international security.
1 second there. What did you say immediately before that?
Who is you in this context?
Magica.
Francis takes in a sharp breath through his teeth.
All right, okay, because I wasn't sure if you were saying something like that, or takes out gun, puts in mouth. Right, I just wanted to make sure
No.
that I was understanding.
No, he does
what you
the.
said. Okay.
Friend, this is a matter of international as well as national security. You could be a hero if you help us out here.
I don't want to be a fucking hero.
Well, I tried.
Well, see, here's the problem. The president left hours ago. You were here by yourself. Completely away from the president, completely away from your squad, completely away from any other government agent except for him, and he didn't know you were here. This looks very
So?
bad for you, and it is very easy for us to spin it to make you the villain here. You might not want to be a hero, but I can damn sure guarantee you don't want to be the villain.
Has
Yeah,
the,
well,
has
I'm
the
gonna be
ballpoint
cruel to you.
click,
Give me charm.
has the ballpoint clicky pen been invented yet?
I don't think so.
Damn. No, it is not. Retractable pens are still about 20 years out.
I'll burn a second look.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he looks at you as if he wants to do the pulling rank on, fuck you, you're a civilian as far as I know. And then he sort of, there's that moment where it looks like he's about to, take a breath and, no, fuck you. And then just kind of sighs a little bit. It's like, look, I was just to cover that area and make sure no one left. And considering the size, considering he kind of reaches to the torn up jacket and shirt. Yes, very difficult word there, shirt. Clearly that didn't happen.
Is he telling the truth?
He is.
He's
There's
clean.
there's a slight tingle.
But you do feel like there is more to it than just what he is saying.
Keep going. We just took out that thing that fucked you up.
Yeah,
Why
he
were you
looked
guarding
he looked
that area?
across the. Sorry, what was that, Nathaniel?
Why were you guarding that area?
He kind of looks across the group again and like, we had a credible threat. that was likely to head out that way. So I was there to make sure no one left. As I say, clearly I failed in that. But Coolidge is gone. So technically successful.
Then why were you still here?
Yeah, Coolidge left a while ago.
Yeah, he starts having like a bit of a sort of labored thing with his breathing. Like, from the remainder of the wounds and that. As he's like patting across it where the chunk was ripped out of his chest. Look, all I know is he glances over at the boat and he's like, the one over there, and I know I didn't really give the description at the time, but he then basically describes the guy as saying, he describes the facial features, hair color, and that. He gives you the description of the vampire you just killed.
Sure.
But all I'm aware of is a couple days ago, he was at the White House. I have no idea who he is or what he was in having a meeting with Coolidge for.
Oh, so he was having a direct meeting with Coolidge.
I mean,
Road trip.
people, yeah, like people come in, they go into the office. I'm usually in the hallway. I'm not in the office itself. I don't know what their meeting was about. I don't even know if it was Coolidge he was meeting with. Might have been one of someone else that works there. I don't know. I just know he was there a few days ago. And he has a completely in character cough. I just know he was there a few days ago. He was in for, I don't know, maybe an hour, and then left. Next thing I know, the details put together for coming here. Which, I mean, to be fair, yeah, there was a lot of us, and you guys do actually remember there was about 20 of these guys, in and around the area, like, which was a bit much for this kind of function. Like, essentially, no one here that you're aware of would be on any watch lists or anything other than for potentially protecting. Like they themselves would not be considered viable threats to the president. So it does kind of stick out that there were a lot of Secret Service there, more than probably should have been. Yeah, like there was at least essentially double. Like for you, Nathaniel, yeah, you get the impression there's probably double the amount of agents that there should have been. Yeah, and he just kind of explained, yeah, the security detail was put on this. We came by, we checked out the area, found that fucking weird mine or whatever, and yeah, figured this might be a potential route to be attacked. So I was put on this.
You didn't find it weird that you were told to stay behind after everybody else left?
I mean, yeah, it was weird, but like,
yeah, for the most part,
he's
I just
working
do
with
what
the
I'm told.
president. Like, there could be any number of weird but legitimate reasons.
Yeah, like for Magica, you get the impression that he probably is lying when he's like not really. But then at the same time, it's like it doesn't necessarily stick out as like he's full on 100% bullshitting you. Yeah, I was totally there to make sure the vampire doesn't escape with the thing.
He has absolute. I'm getting more the impression that at the end of the day, he was not told what he was actually being paid to do right now.
Yeah, that would be what you should probably be sensing.
Yeah, the white lie sense is there. The Francis sense is ever so slightly tingling, but not much.
You have no idea
Maybe
what you were
covering up some
being asked.
kind of indiscretion of Coolidge's.
I mean, even if he is, he had no idea why he was being told to stay behind, I'd guess. We can't fault him for that one, can we?
I can fault him for a great many things.
I mean, to be fair, the thing is, you don't actually know how long he was sitting at that exit.
Well, that's why I was asking for like the moment by moment recap.
As fucked up as he was, if he was there for more than 20 minutes bleeding out, he'd have been dead. That's how.
Well, no, before. How long he was standing there before?
You would have been there the whole time.
I think he means between when he got attacked and we showed up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means us hearing his screaming was shortly around the time we arrived.
That would be about right. That it was fairly within that amount of time. So.
I mean, vampires do be fast.
Alright.
Were you stationed with anybody else?
No, it was just me.
Did
But
you
it was just me at the cave itself. There were a couple others who were in the area.
Oh, really?
In the what?
Welcome back.
In the area.
In the area outside the cave system?
Yeah, he kind of describes that like there were several others who were, as far as he knows from their like security plan, that were assigned to basically patrol in the woods at the back.
And were they supposed to stay as long as you?
I think so.
I'll wave over one of Hare's security guys. Go find them.
Yeah, he basically
Or
just like, yes
if-
sir,
or if you
salutes, and runs off to grab
Or
a
if you
couple
find they
other
have
guys
bite
to
marks
go.
on them, put them out of their misery.
The guy stops at the base of the ladder
Except,
with a couple other people. He turns around as if to be like, "Well,
Ignore
actually,
him.
then, like, actually, no, he's got a point. Consider what they just saw on the boat."
No, just ignore him. Just bring them here.
Yeah, so they scurry up the ladder and head off.
Because those three can totally take a single vampire.
Fair.
Genius.
Could be unconscious.
You are the dumbest smart person I've ever met.
You.
No.
So yeah, those guys are going to be away for a short while. Are you questioning the Secret Service guy any further at the moment?
I'm trying to think if I have anything left. He's not going anywhere for now.
Yeah. All right. So currently, unless there is anything further, we take a little time skip of about half an hour until those guys come back looking rather like they've seen some shit.
Oh, they're dead.
They're
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
The guys come back, climb down, and basically the one guy walks up directly to Elle, hands you 3 wallets that are there are one of them is cut in half, and when you flick it open you can see half of a Secret Service ID. The other 2 have blood in them and around them. One of them actually looks like probably the guy actually like showed the ID prior to whatever happened, and the guy basically just looks at you and says, "We found them."
Yeah, I understand. I'll hold up the half one. Let me guess. Chest ripped open. Probably one of the bloody ones. Throat ripped out. I'm gonna guess something in between the two.
And he kind of looks at you for a second and then just sort of like, "We couldn't tell."
Oh, you found them together.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And he actually then like, takes out a little book from his pocket, gives you like a very sort of vague sort of drawing of the area of the island, marking with a little X, tears out the page and hands it to you. like basically showing like this is roughly where we found him. And then as he's walking away, he grabs one of the other guys and is like, you overhear him basically saying, radio the rest, stay the fuck away from, and he mentions the name of the clearing. I'm not making up one. There's a clearing, he mentions it. It's basically for everyone else to
Corbin's clearing.
The northern clearing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Island doesn't need a fucking name.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, just keep everyone away from the northern clearing. And then heads off and goes into one of the little shacks at the pier, and you immediately see him whipping out a bottle of something that Elle can immediately tell is very high end, probably likely to get him fired if his boss ever finds out.
Nope, I didn't see that.
And immediately, just pops the cork and just starts drinking.
I'll look at the two stories that we got here. Well, good news, bad news. Bad news is we found your 3 fellow agents. Worst news,
he
they're all dead.
looks at the whole thing like, yeah.
Good news, you're the lucky one.
Apparently. Like, he's now actually sitting on the chair, still with the towel wrapped around his shoulders.
He's in shock. He's got a blanket.
Well, also put him in the water. He's got a towel. Well, actually, probably got his 3rd towel by now.
That's a
Probably.
Sherlock reference, which I'm sure you've never seen.
Had to
Changes.
one of the security guards at this point get him a fresh set of clothes so he could change, so he's not sitting in wet clothes.
Wet clothes doused in ocean water, in probably considering off
Technically
the
not
coast of
ocean
Massachusetts
water.
in
Fresh water.
freshwater, whatever.
It's
Yeah,
fresh
this
Same
is
water.
the lake.
difference.
This is an island and a lake. It is not.
Well then, considering it's January,
Yeah, it's cold, hence the towel.
yeah.
It's very cold.
And getting him dry clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
they-
guy
yeah,
ain't
the
doing
guards-
very well anymore.
Yeah, the guards end up finding like an extra uniform basically, but then also like make some extra markings so that like they can tell that this guy's not one of theirs.
I mean, just leave the towel.
He's just being given the stuff. Yeah. So yeah, are you guys heading up to check that clearing?
In a second. Well, wait, you guys start going. Hayden, he still runs?
Yep.
Did you know about the cave though? Under the manor? Castle? Whatever. Estate?
Yeah, he's like, I wasn't aware of an entire cave system. Part of the reason that we were here was to check if this place had a site.
Yeah, you're gonna
What?
have a much longer conversation with Harrison.
Right.
Hello.
And I can't stand that, man. Oh well.
Yeah, I understand why he was definitely hiding something from you.
Well, his family's owned this island for a long time.
Oh,
So,
actually, I'd ask him to like the bow of the ship. Nathaniel, can you come over here for a second?
Yep.
Can you show him that piece you picked up?
What piece?
You can
The rock.
show him the the piece
Yeah,
of the
You
weird
found
tricky
a
rock.
rock in the cave. That's normal.
the glowing glittering.
That's not normal.
yeah, when you
I
show
would have
him
asked you to
the-
just a random pebble
Yeah.
found on the shore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. when-
Ashley looks
when-
at that
when
and
you
is
put
like,
that-
okay, that's
hold on,
that's
hold
not
on.
normal.
Yeah, hold on. When Nathaniel whips his rock out and starts showing it to in front of the ladies, such oh my god, waving around his big rock.
Ooh.
Immediately like Ashley knows this is something that is really fucking weird, and Hayden kind of crosses one arm over, sort of leaning across, like, where did you find that?
In the caves under the estate, there's basically an entire quarry.
With a waystone.
You get backhanded
What?
before you even finish. Before he even finishes talking, He gets a hand clapped over his mouth.
He gets it's a what, and then
Yep. And then that piece of paper that has the map, I write second Waystone, go to them both, and then cross it out.
Like you write it down, give them enough time to read it, and then immediately score it out so it can't be read.
Yeah.
Ashley looks at Hayden.
I fucking knew it.
We have
That
another.
lying bastard.
And then I'll write on the other side, damaged.
Damaged.
That could be a good thing. That could be good.
As
Yeah,
long as
he's
it's
working.
not
Question.
open.
And
Yeah,
then I'll write
gladly
partially
read
working,
the
question mark.
new ones now. Really? Okay.
So what did you say?
Partially working, question mark.
How's it partially working?
I am out of paper, but I'll say longer discussion at the archives.
Got it.
Yeah, Hayden kind of looks around and sees that none of the like staff or other people wandering around are.
Ashley
like,
is
within
pissed
the
off
media.
at Hayden, but is more pissed off at Harrison right now. It's like,
Yeah, he checks that there's no one immediately in earshot and then leans over and is like, is there anything else we directly need to know right now about this?
I need more paper.
Francis hands him a notebook.
Yeah, I'll write on it.
where'd you get that notebook? Never mind. You always seem to have them.
He's a scholar.
Amulet might be in caves. Unlikely. Handoff happened some point.
But the handoff might have been there.
I don't.
Yeah, he's
think
just like,
so.
Okay, that's fine. We will
Okay.
be
Because
back.
the timeline doesn't match up. The vampires went out. Well, at this point, I don't care if I'm talking out in the open. All these guys know what happened.
Yeah.
When they went out the window, they landed outside the estate. To get to the caves, they would have had to go by the Secret Service agent first. He would have been dead. The other entrance we found was closed off.
Okay.
Where did you find us?
Mm,
Yeah, you give him the approximate directions to that one room in the dungeon.
There might be a third entrance. We didn't have time to explore the entire network.
Yeah, he looks at the map that you've got in hand and like reaches over, taps the bit beyond the broken down passage, like somewhere over here.
Yeah, but this was definitely planned. There was a cleared blockage here.
Okay. Right. Yeah. We will definitely be back with some people.
And then in the notebook, someone in Coolidge's cabinet involved.
That's possibly a problem.
That's a huge
Well,
problem.
Vampire
will
met with
cross,
someone at White House.
Shit. Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
I mean,
32 if we have to.
He's still going to be president until March the 5th.
Start writing must kill no.
Oh, you start writing it, and then like actually no, we'll just leave that sentence unfinished.
Pretty much.
Kane's just gonna. I imagine Cain this entire time has been laying on the dock because he's just like, I'm one hit point away. He's just, I'm
Hey, he's
tired.
stable at least. He's just in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you
on
got some
that bombshell, I must bounce. I unfortunately
Yeah.
have a very long shift
Well,
tomorrow.
actually, this is the best place for us to end it anyway.
Yeah, effectively, you guys got a comical fade out over all the hush hush secrecy as you hear Kara down the docks go, "What the fuck?" and running over to beat Cain to death for damn near getting himself killed.
He told him tackling the thing was a bad idea. He didn't listen.
So
What
obviously,
you doing again?
obviously, he fucking didn't listen. She just runs over and like crouches down. There's already one of the guys there who's like got a fucking medic bag over his shoulder, like trying to mop up all the blood that should be in Cain that's currently not.
Cain,
Sadly,
when
he's
will
not
you
suffering
listen?
internal bleeding.
When will you listen?
When he dies.
I'll fucking do it again.
Anyway.
Yeah, she whacks you on the face and like, no, you fucking won't. You are under house arrest now, asshat.
Wait, what?
You're not
Gets
leaving the
dragged off by an
house.
ear.
Yeah.
Ashley
Gets dragged
says,
off by an ear.
Y'all need to.
Yeah, which is kind of funny considering that Kara is kind of small. Just like dragging Cain off.
At this point, I think we do need to head someplace a little bit more private to speak. We also need to talk to Harrison. Should we talk to Harrison
Yeah.
all together or just you, Hayden?
I'll know if he's lying.
Yeah, Hayden kind of looks because he doesn't believe that that's an actual thing. Yeah, sure. Yes, we'll go speak to him. We'll give this all a chance to calm down.
I mean, we still have a lot of people
He's
who
not
need
going
to get
anywhere.
back to their homes and a lot of statements to go through.
Yeah,
This is going to be
he
a
kinda-
long night.
Yeah, he waves a hand and is like, I do not give a flying fuck about how important going home to go to bed is to this lot.
I
Yep.
know,
We'll
I know
get
what
the
you're saying, but we still had a lot to do.
yes. And
No, we have very little to do. They, I will hook a thumb at the security people, have a lot to do.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
and
I did.
right there
I
for
carried my weight, and Raul was going to be very mad.
yeah.
Mhm.
And Hayden's
No.
like, oh, you go there too. Nice.
Yeah. Best tailor in Boston.
Yeah, he pats the other arm, is like, yeah, and like the fun thing is, right, this is when Francis would actually notice that his little padded thing, yeah, you could tell that down both arms of Hayden's jacket there's clearly like concealed armor sewn into the whole thing. Like he's actually gotten like, you know, the John Wick armored suit.
I do have one last question.
Uh-huh.
I turned down. Because while I took no damage, I did get 2 feet planted squarely in my chest. But if they were 2 feet, 2 opposite feet, in the exact same area, so it's possible that the footprints on my Agent Orange jacket actually match and can be like passed off as an intentional fashion choice. What do you think?
Maybe if we were in Paris or Milan. I'm not here.
I'm just
Boston's a little
picturing.
too-
It's a little too
Muddy.
gauche. Yeah, I'm picturing literally as that little convo happens, that's when the camera just like pans up and starts circling, going up into the sky.
And
the
with
credits
that,
start rolling.
and with that,
And
we
on
will
that
call it.
bombshell.
And that with that, we will call it. This is Karsa, KKWX. Karsa's my name, KKWX is my empire. Here today with my friends from NRT as we played some Waystone Mysteries. So, is Coolidge actually involved? Or is there something more to it? We will find out next time. Goodbye!